thousands of patients of blood cancers, thalassemias, whose only hope is having a bone marrow transplant, that is a stem cell transplant. They have to get their stem cells from a donor.
Thalassemia major is a huge public health problem in India because we have over 10,000 new births of thalassemia major and also a similar condition which is sickle cell anemia. So both these are red blood cell problems and they are genetic. Thalassemia major requires monthly lifelong blood transfusion. So as soon as we make a diagnosis, we start transplant counseling early, and the only curative option that families have is to do a bone marrow or blood stem cell transplantation. Only 30% of our families have a fully matched donor within the family who can donate their bone marrow to help cure this child. And the rest 70%, they would benefit from the transplant. We begin searches in unrelated registries worldwide.
People of Indian origin will have similar HLA types, and therefore a patient of Indian origin is more likely to get a donor from amongst Indian people rather than from outside of India.
The whole process of transplantation is almost like creating a new beautiful garden full of roses. So first thing we need to do is prepare the soil and make sure it's healthy before we plant the seeds or grow the new plants. So the patient's own bone marrow stem cells have all need to be brought down to zero before they can receive the new stem cells. Their immune system also needs to be brought down to zero so that they will be able to receive the new stem cells. So the patients are going through really difficult treatment.
सिम्टम है वो उसका पैर में थोड़ा सा वाइट कलर जैसा लग रहा है, पिंक नहीं था, इसलिए डॉक्टर ने बोले कि वो पिंक नहीं है, वो वाइट कैसा हो गया। वो टेस्ट करवाई, टेस्ट करने के बाद पता चला वो थैलासेमिया मेजर है।
It is only the treatment you have to do through doctors and go to the hospitals and follow the instructions what doctors are giving, and the only solution is the bone marrow or stem cell transplant. So we have to wait up to that.
The day when the BMT was transplanted to me, every doctors came, all doctors, nearly 6 doctors, everybody came, and they told me, yeah, this is the BMT. I saw that injection, it was full of red color, red or maroon color, the stem cell, and I knew, yeah, after this goes into my body, I'll be a normal. So it was the happy moment for me.
I was too much upset till I came to know he is out of danger, or he is recovered. So I was too happy that I could express my feelings in words. Thank to God and thank to doctors who cured him. I appeal to the people or the donors to help the thalassemia patients in any way and make them happy. Thank you.
When I got a call from the donor center about me being a potential match, it came as a big surprise to me. Although I did become a little nervous because I started thinking that the process I would potentially undergo had an opportunity to give someone another shot at life. matters to me the most has always been my family. After having spoken to my parents, my dad was the one who instantly told me, go ahead for it. Because the idea of being able to save someone's life, in spite of being a human, and a human who's not a doctor, was a big opportunity. It was a big deal for us.
I was of course proud about him, that he was a person. He had willingly donated. Very few people have the opportunity to get a chance to save somebody's life, and I'll always encourage people to do so.
I do treat all hematological disorders like thalassemia, sickle cell disease. We do need stem cell donors for many of these diseases to do a transplantation, and the only way to do that is to have large registries, and by random chance it is possible that there would be an individual out there who is HLA identical to the donor, and that person can now be a donor for this patient and be a source of stem cells for a life-saving procedure. The donor then will be contacted by the registry to undergo a series of tests and evaluations to make sure that he is eligible and fit to donate.
As a donor, I did not have to make any expenses. Most importantly, the organization cares for your health as equal as they care for the patient's health. Once you've said you're going to go ahead with the process, do not back out, because it's not just your life. You are putting someone else's life at risk. You are taking away the one hope they had of living again.
And then we usually give the donor an injection called a growth factor, and the objective of this injection, which is given either once a day or twice a day in some centers, is to move stem cells from his bone marrow into his peripheral blood. On the 5th day, usually we put the donor onto an apheresis machine. As you can see here with our donor, we've connected him to the machine. The machine takes out blood from one vein, circulates it within the machine, removes the stem cell component from the blood, which is a very small fraction, and returns all the other parts of the blood back to the patient. That's called a peripheral blood stem cell collection, and this procedure takes about 4 to 5 hours. This is a procedure that has been safely performed for more than 3 decades, and we have enough experience to know that there is absolutely no long-term safety concerns to the donor with actually donating stem cells, and huge benefits to a recipient where it could be a life-saving procedure.
It is a wonderful job to help somebody to save their life, and I'll ask another parents of my age to advise and even pressurize their children to do this wonderful job.
And I feel very, very proud of the entire donation process that I have been through, all the way from registering as a donor to actually donating my stem cells. And the reason I say that is because it's rare that life gives you an opportunity to be able to save someone else's life. Becoming a donor is no harm to anyone. You do not have to go through any medical process when you register as a donor. So do it now, do it today.
You may be the only person out there who could be the second chance at life for this patient. Please come forward and join the registry, but when you join, you must remember it's a pledge, it's a promise. You could come up as a match several years later to some patient out there, and when you're called to donate, it is at that time you're the only person who could save this life.